comes in. There you go. Now come into Yoko Giri to the ribs, the side. There we go. Now the way that you fundamentally block, the basic block, of course, you guys should be blocking at every angle, right, left, forward, back, offensive, defense, everything, right? But the fundamental blocks against Keisa, Giri, and Yoko Giri are fundamentally the same. It's the angle of which you would engage your blade to their blade. So when he comes in with Keisa Giri and I'm in Chudan, go ahead, I'm going to hit with the side, but as I hit with the side, I'm press hit down. The reason I want to press hit down, because if I press hit up like that, he's just going to come right back in, because it's just, he's bouncing off mine. Same thing with Yoko Giri. If I'm here and he comes in, I'm going to press, I'm going to hit with the side down and then come in with the cut. You always want, when they're coming high, whether it's Keisa or Yoko, you don't, and they're coming from outside of their body. Because when he comes in with ski, go ahead and come in with ski, he's still with inside his strength box. So here, we just boom and move in. I can just go again. I can hit, move in, right? But I don't necessarily have to push it down. But when he's outside of his body, whether he's doing Haso or Ushiro Kamai or Haso no Kamai or Inyo no Kamai, but when he's coming down with Keisa Giri, go again. See how he's on the outside of his body. But now going to Ushiro Kamai, coming in with Yoko Giri. There, see, coming from the outside to the inside. I need to impact with the side, push the blade down. I need to force it down so it doesn't continue its path, and he can use that as a block to move in. Right? Because if I just simply do Ushiro to Yoko Giri one more time. If I just simply do this, I block and then I move in, he's just going to come, he might ricochet a little bit, but he'll just come back in and get me. So you want to be able to do, again, Mr. Creep, thank you very much. I'm going to push down and then come in. You catch what I'm saying? So it's going to be a block down. It's like a, or if it's coming into this side, it's going to be blocked down. Does that make sense? So just hold your sword up there for 1 second. So when I block, I'm going to turn the back, the mune, down. Right? Now again, this is a basic understanding of blocking. There are various different ways, various different techniques, right? But in its basic fundamental principle, you want to stop their cut and you want to stop it from being able to be countered so that you can then be effective and you can end the situation, right? That's the point. Also want to say this. One thing that's really popular online, and I just want to throw this out there because it is a popular, very, very, very popular misconception, is that they never cling swords in battle. Or when they practice, they would never, ever like hit their edge or smack their sword on another sword because the sword is some sort of like spiritual piece, you know what I mean, relic, something they used for connection to the divine and warrior spirit and all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of different stories why, right? The reality of it is that it's absolutely not true. You could read any of the historical documents, you know, any of the old sword schools, and you guys can see the swords are just, they're broken, they're jagged up, they're worked over. You know what I'm saying? They're not these magnificent pieces of art that we see in some of the books or some of the museums or something like that. The reality of it is they were clanging swords in battle. That's absolutely what they did. Absolutely. And the reason we have some of the weapons we do is because they went ahead and they made weapons that would be effective in case your sword broke, like you have the Rokushaku bow. Well, if it breaks in half, now you have a Han bow. Right? If you have a long sword and it breaks, now you got a Kodachi, right? It's one of those kind of things, right? It's like the function of it is for that purpose. So I know that you see a lot of these arts online and they would say you would never clang swords. The only way that you ever block is these like uke nagash or these aiki type blocks or these parry blocks, and that is just not true. Just think of it from a fundamental perspective. Let's get away from the idea of samurai having a sword and they're just so spiritually enlightened and they would never clang swords with their enemy. So I'm going to put the same story, we're just going to put it in a modern setting. And you guys see why that's so ridiculous when people say you're not supposed to, swords don't bang together, right? Anyone who says swords don't bang together or they didn't train for them to bang together, they're wrong. In boxing, it doesn't matter. You could have, I've said this before, it doesn't matter how skilled someone is in any of their arts in combat, you're still going to get hit. Right? You could take Floyd Mayweather, and although I think he's a complete ass, one thing we can't do is we can't take away his skill within boxing. Right? He's one of the best boxers right now on the planet. Okay. You could take an amateur, put him in the ring against Floyd Mayweather, which we've proven it. When there's some kid at YouTube that just fought him last month or something, it's a YouTube guy. He still hit him. Floyd Mayweather still got hit by a guy that trains as a YouTube guy. Does this guy have a chance of beating Floyd Mayweather? No. He has no chance in hell. The difference is Floyd Mayweather has learned how to absorb that impact and what to do when that clanging happens. When that impact happens, there's the counter punch. There's the combination. There's the footwork. There's the movement, right? We see it in MMA. We see it in kickboxing. We see it in karate. We see it in all martial arts. They do this. You block. You do this, right? There's that practice of meeting the attack, right? And then finishing. But for some reason, and I do not know why, I do know where it comes from, but I do not know why people truly believe that the samurai did not clang swords in battle. That is one of the most dumbest, ridiculous, uneducated falsehoods that people seriously put online. And it's not accurate. These are people that are paid to kill another army. That's what they're paid to do. They're not paid to go into battle and make sure that the sword doesn't get dull. They're paid to use a sword to fight somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So combat at any level, whether it's modern or traditional, it doesn't matter. War at any level is ugly. It's bloody. It's violent. It's not pretty. You know what I'm saying? Martial arts over the years has decided to make it more artistic and more pretty. But we don't want to take away from what it truly is, because I think that's where I think we're losing the essence of the martial arts, right? So the drill I'm going to have you guys work now is Dupree is going to come in with Keisagiri. He's going to shuffle back. He's going to come in with Yokogiri. He's going to shuffle back. He'll come into Keisagiri the other side. Shuffle back. Yokogiri the other side. And we're going to call that one repetition, okay? In that one repetition, I'm going to block Keisagiri to my right, to my left, Migi Nidari, and Yokogiri to my right and left, Migi Nidari. I'm going to be using the side of my blade to press in and push down to eliminate the threat as I come into whatever open target is available. The first open target available. Okay? Mm-hmm. Here we go, Mr. Dupree. Yep. See the technique? Now generally, let's do it again. When he goes Keisa, go ahead. I got the neck, because when I hit, go ahead, I'm going to down up to the neck. When he goes to Yoko, go ahead, down to the wrist. Just the basic strike sets. Go to the other side, please. As he comes in, neck, he comes in, wrist. You guys see that? All right, play.